Thank you so much to be here at our first webinar. My name is Ariane Mayou-Rivard. I'm a talent acquisition consultant at Raymond Chabot Grant Thornton since 2016. Just a little about me. I've been doing a lot of interviews, in person or virtual interview for all of our services. So accounting, taxes, management consulting, financial advisory, or recovery. So I'm glad to be here today to give you some info, some tips for your next recruitment process. You will be able to ask questions on the section Q&A all along the presentation, so feel free to do it. Today I'm with Caroline Lapierre, who will present herself in a few seconds, and Kayla Rousseau, an auditor from our office in Montreal. She's going to talk later about her experience. So Caroline, can you tell us a little about yourself?
Yes, thank you, Ariane. Thanks everyone again for joining us today during your lunch break. Like Ariane said, my name is Caroline Lapierre. I work as an analyst in our talent and culture team. I've been at RCGT for more than a year now, and since I began in my position, the thing that I appreciate the most is all the relations that I've been able to create with all the candidates that we meet during all of our recruitment processes. And another thing is all the relationship that I've been able to build at the firm directly. So it can be in audit, in tax, or in management also. I will let Ariane introduce you to the objective of today's workshop.
Yeah, so today we're going to give you two workshops actually. The first one is on the virtual interview, so how to prepare yourself, what happens during a virtual interview, what happens after. And the second one is on the internship experience at Raymond Chabot. So we're going to start with the virtual interview.
Just before we begin, I see that we have a question about the video being recorded. So yes, for your information, the video is being recorded. So if you miss out on a part, or if you wanted to send it to one of your fellow student colleague later on, you can do it. We'll be sending it to you after the presentation. So first thing first, how to prepare for a successful interview. Before the interview, we want you to make a list of your strengths and your interests. It's a suggestion, but it can be useful to you. You should be able to determine who you are and what interests you in your life. Also, we want to know more about you. We want to know more about your background, where you come from, how did you get there, where you are, how did you get there also. And you don't have to have a perfect 5-year plan in your mind. If you are still hesitating with a few options, or if you have a career plan that is really clear to you, just come as you are. There are no wrong answer here. You can just explain it all to us during this interview. Also, with the recruitment process, you might want to validate some of the questions that you already have with all the activities that will be offered to you. You will want to ask questions about things that are important to you and what you want from your work environment. The golden rule here is that there are no stupid questions. You can ask us about anything. It can be workplace and schedule, team organization, it can be assignments, or even the university training and follow-up. Everything is important as long as it's important to you. So the whole purpose of this interview is to answer the questions that you might have during the recruitment process. Ariane, you will have to unmute yourself.
Oh, sorry, everyone. So, okay, so these are simple actions that can help you to be calmer, ready, and organized before the interview. So, the first thing is to set yourself in an optimal environment. So, somewhere calm, somewhere you won't be interrupted. Assure you to unmute. You can also make sure that you think about what the person see behind you, and I suggest you to test the system before calling. Is it working? How do I look in the camera? Sometimes the recruiter are using Teams or Skype or Zoom. So make sure you download the right system in advance. In case of a problem, make sure that you have their email or phone number so that you can contact them. Have a positive attitude, like first impression count even if it's not in person. So be prepared, be professional, is very important. You can also be punctual, so you can just connect earlier so that you can start the interview on time, and you can expect the same from us. You can also pay attention to body language. Your clothing, it's supposed to be the same as if you were going at the office. Your posture, you can look straight in the camera so the recruiters won't think that you don't pay attention. For example, make sure that you don't look at your phone like every 2 minutes. Um, Now, Caroline will tell you what happens during a virtual interview.
Yes, so now that you're prepared yourself, um, just before I see a question also, someone asking us, do we need to know French in order to apply? So you don't need to be perfectly bilingual, but obviously because of the majority of the clients that we have that do speak French, you are asked to understand French and be able to speak some French. But as I said, we have a lot of person who are being hired that are not perfectly bilingual, and that they work just fine with their firms. So now that you're prepared for the interview, what will happen during the virtual interview? We want you to know first that there are two people who will be attending the interview. First, there's always there's usually a partner at the interview who's leading the interview, and also he's with another manager or a senior auditor for this interview. Other than that, it's usually it's a convivial process, the interview that we do at RCGT. So we really want to get to know you, and we want you to get to know us. So it's the perfect time to ask all the questions that you had, like we said before. And talking about questions, you should be able to know what will be asked of you. We want to know about your background. We want to know about your studies. We want to know if there's something that you want from your career. Maybe you already know that you might want to specialize into something later on. You can tell us all about you. And also, how long is the interview lasting? For the interview, it's somewhere about 20 to 45 minutes. It always depends on how many questions you have and how many questions the managers have for you, obviously. So every interview is a bit different in that sense. Also, some tip that could be useful to you with this interview. We know that you will be stressed. It's perfectly normal, and we encourage you to take notes if you feel like you need to take them. The thing is, maybe you will want to write down the name of the speakers, so you will be able later on to contact them if you have some more questions, or if you want to talk to them after the interview process. I have another question here from someone who's asking, when will the job opening be posted? Good questions. Thank you. Good question. Thank you for that. Actually, the job opening is already posted on our website. You can find all the information on our Facebook page. So you will, at the end of the presentation, also, We will tell you how to apply for the position, for the intern position. But if you go on our website, you will find this information also. Another question is same length of interview time for interns and permanent employee. I'd say it depends. When you asked about permanent employee, if it's a permanent employee but still an intern, in the sense that, for example, you've completed your CFE and you want to start a full-time job at the firm, you will still have the same recruitment process that we have for the other interns, because you will be placed in the same position. It's only a title that we say interns, but it's to refer it for the employees that don't necessarily have a background experience in audit.
Thank you, Caroline. So what happens after the interview? I can tell you that you could write a thank you note to people, to the people you met at the interview. But if you had like 7 interviews in one day, I recommend you to do that only to your favorite and not all of them. You can also personalize your message, because we're able to see when it's like a copy paste message. On our side, we will make sure to get back to you as soon as possible. Usually it's very quick. You can keep an eye on your inbox, on your phone. This is how we will contact you. So I hope these tips will be helpful for you guys. And don't forget that the most important is to be yourself, be real, and the rest will fall into places for sure. So now we're going to talk about the internship experience. So what to expect when you arrive as an intern, how our firm will be able to help you pass the CFE, how we're going to demystify with Kayla what's an assurance internship at RCGT, and we're going to share with you what makes us stand out.
So arriving at RCGT, now that you've completed the interview, you've been hired, you will start with a tailored training. So usually it lasts about a week or so. You will be taking part into a customized training session that we developed for our interns. So you will be paired with other interns of your region. It can be on a virtual training, or it can also be face-to-face, depending on where you will be working, because we're looking to hire people all around all around Quebec. So it will depend about for your training session. On the other hand, the training session is really there to give you a basis, so you will be able to understand how works your computer, how works all the software that you will be using on the assignments that will be given to you. And it's really a basis that you can work on later that you start working on the assignments. Another thing is that since you will be completed the training, you will be also meeting your teams. At RCGT, we work in teams. We like to call them medium-sized team. It's around 20 people in each different teams. And you will be seeing these persons on almost every assignment that you have. So you will really get to connect with them and develop a bond, and that will be your lasting, because you will be eating with them at lunch, you will be working with them. Sometimes you will have activities planned after the jobs and stuff like that. So every team has a welcome process that is unique to their interns. And now my colleague Ariane will talk to you a little bit more about a program that we have. It's our sponsor program.
Yes, so we have a sponsor system. At your first day, we assign you a sponsor. So who will help you to integrate the team, transfer his or her technical and professional skills, answer your question, and assure you to have a proper development. Mentors are people at our company a little more senior. They are very relating to the CPA order. So they write the internship report, for example. So we have a quote here from one of our colleagues. It's recruits inspire us, bring us new ideas. I like to make young people feel comfortable, help them unlock their full potential, and build their own business network. I think it's very interesting because it proves that we are open to hear your ideas and new way of work. It's also a reason why we recruit interns like every year.
So now that you've completed the training and that you've started the assignments that have been given you, you will be under supervision. What we mean about it, that is that you will never be left alone on any assignments. You will always be paired with other interns, other auditor, or even other senior auditors that have experience, a workload that they can teach you some stuff and they can answer all of your questions. These persons have been where you are as a new intern, so they know what you're going through. They know that you have many questions, and it's normal for them. It's a part of their job to support you and give you all the support that you need on the job. That being said, we will also give you time and space to develop at your own pace. So you won't be rushed into some expectations that we have for you. You can really take the time to develop at your own pace in our firm. We have, again, some other questions here. Is it preferred to send thank you notes through email rather than LinkedIn? So for the thank you notes, it's up to you really the way you want to do it. It can be LinkedIn, it can be email. It's really up to you. We don't mind both of the procedures. All of our employees who take part into the recruitment process know that they might get contacted through emails or LinkedIn. So we are aware of that. You can choose the one that suits you the most.
Yeah, so it can be even a call, I think.
Yeah, also it can be a call.
Yeah. So in terms of progress, we are committed to the development of each and every one of you. So we are in constant communication with our young talent. If they wish to specialize in a field of expertise or in a sector of activity, we support them in this process. We also give you coaching in your internship. We have a university follow-up program to help you pass the CFE. So this program includes coaching from experienced professionals during your internship, workshops on the various fields of expertise and simulations of the exam, and a mentoring system that I explained to you earlier.
We have another question just before Kayla testimonial. What is your selection process based on? For example, qualities, grades, or etc. For our selection process, what we're looking for into a new employee, it's not a particular quality, it's not a particular grade. We are looking for a fit between you and the team that you will be joining. So each team is recruiting for their new colleagues, obviously, and they want to see if they get along with you, if they see themselves work with you on a daily basis. That is really what we look for into the candidates. So our recruitment activities are a great way to see for us and for you, is this an environment where you want to work? Is this the colleagues that you will want to have? And the same for us, do we see a fit in you for all the teams that we have at RCGT? So I'll let Kayla introduce herself and with her testimonial about her experience.
So hi everybody. As mentioned by my colleagues, my name is Kayla Russo. So I'm an intermediate auditor at Raymond Chabot Grant Thornton. I work with the Montreal office primarily. So I went to school at John Molson School of Business. That's where I did my bachelor's degree. It took me 3 years to complete that. Now I'm upon the completion of, I finished graduate school for my CPA program. Schooling is just finished. That took me about 2 years. And now in about exactly 2 weeks actually. I write for the CFE exam. So it's my turn this year to write. So I've been with Raymond Chabot, RCGT. I believe I was recruited in 2016. Summer of 2016 is when I had my summer internship. So when I got recruited, it was 4 years ago. It's crazy when you think of it, how fast time flies by. So my experience of my summer internship was really nice because, as mentioned by Ariane, the first week that you go in, you have a training session, and that's when you really get to meet everyone that you're kind of entering RCGT with. So all of the summer interns kind of got put together, and we got a training session for the week that taught us kind of more primarily how to use the softwares that you would be working with on the day-to-day basis. Where to go find certain files, because RCGT provides a lot of templates, a lot of working papers already prepared to help you facilitate the work that you're going to be doing. So that was already cool. Actually, prior to that training week, I already got to kind of meet a few people. When we got all recruited, the company had actually organized a really nice cocktail for all of us, where we all got to meet our partners, the other partners who were in the firm, some of the managers, senior auditors, as well as everyone who got recruited. They did the event in the Old Port at the time. It was really nice. I already got to meet a few people. So my summer internship, after that week of training, I was put on a client. It was like the hospitals in the Greater Montreal area. So I was responsible for going to see different departments in the hospitals and performing tests on their different costs to simplify it. But it was nice because, well, I was super nervous when I first started, because obviously when you have no experience and you don't know what you're doing, it's kind of intimidating and you don't really know how to approach the client. But I had someone who was on the file the previous year who was considered an intermediate. So I was considered a junior or an intern, if you will. And there was someone who was an intermediate who had done what I had done last year, and she coached me every step of the way. So that was really nice, and I really appreciated that. The fact that you're never alone, especially when you first start, you always have someone to help answer your questions, for you to ask your questions too. And, you know, like I said, you have other interns who are all going through the same thing with you. So if you're freaking out, chances are someone else is just as lost as you. So it's nice, you know, you kind of all get to ask your own questions. And did you experience this? Okay, this is what I did. And they'll send you what you need. And, you know, you kind of become each other's resource in the firm. You have to develop those kind of connections. And it's nice because, you, like I said, you're going through the same thing all together, and your intermediates, your seniors on the file have all been where you are. So that's one thing I like about the firm too, is that everyone's 100% willing to give a helping hand. Everyone's super nice about that. So I had a really positive summer internship experience. That client was a big client, and it lasted majority of my summer internship. And like I believe it was Caroline mentioned before, you work within your team. So the people who I worked on that file with were the people who were in my team. So I also got to know my team at the same time. You're not always working with the same people at Raymond Chabot because your team is pretty big. So you could be paired with different people at a time. So that was nice. And then I went back to school. So I think I had a year and a half left of my undergraduate degree. So I came back in September of 2018 was when I started back full time. So rather than being considered a summer intern, I was considered an intern. But even though you're considered an intern, you're still considered a full-time employee. Sorry, I'm just looking at the questions. All right, is there recruitment on campus? So yes, so Raymond Chabot's actually present at Concordia University and McGill University. We go on site to kind of talk to the students. I believe that RCGT is also present on CASA. That's actually how I got recruited as well. And I've actually participated in events where I've gone to represent the company on campus. So we are present in English University campuses, to answer your question. So yeah, so as I was saying is that I came back as an intern, but I was still a full-time employee. And I stayed as an intern for about a year. So I find the big difference between coming back full-time versus my summer internship was my summer internship, I more got a feel of the softwares that I would be using and where to go find certain things. And I got a feel for my team. I wasn't given huge responsibilities because, you know, they give you you're given the basics, and then you work your way up. And then as I came back full time, I was given a little bit more responsibility. So the senior in charge of the file would do the selection of, let's say, tests that I had to do, and I would do the tests, or I would go ask the client for certain things. But I was never alone on a file. It was always with someone, or there was always someone kind of steering me in which direction to go, which was nice. So I stayed on as an intern, like I said, for a year. And then last November, so November of 2019, I got promoted as intermediate. So that's one above a junior or an intern. The difference between an intermediate and an intern is basically the level of responsibility you have in the file. You can be given little files that you're expected to do on your own, or to lead with an intern, or you can be staffed on a file with a senior who is one up above you again, and a junior, and you're kind of the middleman. You're more responsible for maybe making selections on the file, or gaining more an understanding of the company's, your client's controls, your client's processes. You're also responsible for kind of taking the intern under your wing and kind of guiding them and answering their questions, you know, kind of alleviating that responsibility from the senior. You're trying to help the senior out and manage the workload, and helping the senior do what they have to do, and guiding the intern on staff as well. So I really enjoyed that task. I found it was super cool to kind of use the knowledge that I acquired, you know, because you remember how confused you were when the intern started, and now you have an intern and you're able to give that knowledge to someone else. So I really appreciated that aspect of growing in my career. And I left for study leave, I believe, in April. So what happens is that when you come to the point where you're on your CFE summer, it's kind of hard to work, and it's not really recommended that you work, just because the workload that you have in terms of school is really heavy. If you guys have questions about your CFE summer, and if we have time at the end, you're more than open to ask me that, or you can message me later on. That's fine, and we can talk about it. So I was given we're all given the summer off, as I believe most accounting firms do as well. So during my time off, I did Capstone 1 and Capstone 2 with Concordia University, where you're given half of your summer, you focus on a big project that you have, and the other half of the summer is where you more are taught on how to write your CFE. So you're given really good training. And with that, RCGT accompanies a lot of, or not accompanies, but I would say more supports everyone who's writing their CFE, and given workshops like Ariane mentioned, where you're given lessons on basically core subjects or core areas of expertise that you kind of need to know for your exam. You're also given practice cases to work on that you can do and then submit to someone at the firm, and they'll correct it for you, and you get feedback that way, which is really nice. I see someone else asked a question. In regards to the summer internships, what months do they take place? Thank you. So summer internships, I believe mine took place, I started beginning of April. No, I think it was end of April, May when I did mine, and it ended early July, I believe. That was mine in 2016. It could have changed. I'm sure Kevin and Ariane could give you a better answer.
Yes, usually our summer interns are there for about 2 months and a half. It can be a little bit more long depending on the teams and the assignments that you are working on. But usually it's about that. We usually start in May and it ends somewhere around mid-July or end of July, depending on the assignments that you will be working on. We also have another question about the recruitment process and how to apply more specifically. If you want to apply to an internship for summer 2021, is it recruitment campus? Yes, it is. We have a job offer on our website, like we said before, and it's for all of the intern position. So it's for everything between winter 2021 and winter 2022. So it can be a summer internship at summer 2021. It can be a full-time position because you will complete the CFE and wants to start at next January or January 2022 also. We have those kind of opportunities for you.
So other than that, what was I saying? I apologize. So I was talking about how RCGT provides you support in that respect, where you get a lot of practice cases and you get to submit them to, there's someone who takes care of that for you, kind of someone who leads the whole mentorship program for the summer. So you can submit that and have that graded, and it gets back to you and you get really good feedback. So it's really, the more cases you can get in your CFE summer, the better, because you get to practice your case writing skills. So that's basically my whole path with RCGT. To sum it up, I go back in October after I write my exam. So you're given a nice little period off after your CFE. You're not expected to come back right away. So it's nice, given, usually people take that opportunity to travel and whatnot. This year, it's kind of the exception. That won't be the case, but it's okay. But usually you do have that little period to kind of enjoy yourself and take some time off. So if you guys have any questions, or if Caroline, you can think of anything else that I can add to my experience.
Yeah, I have one question for you, and then I will keep reading the other questions that we have from all the participants. Actually, I would like you to tell us more about what's the difference for you between a firm and starting your internship in a company. So I know students might be hesitating between the two options for their internships, and I want you to maybe answer that questions for them on your own opinion.
Okay. Well, I can't give my opinion about going into industry, so going into a company. But what I think when I first started as an intern, it was harder for me to make the links between what you learn in school and what you're doing on the job, because you're just focused on learning everything new that's on the job. But as time progressed, what I really appreciate about working at a firm, and I honestly think that it would benefit everyone to start off at a firm, you're really able to apply what you learn in school at work. Like what the theory that you learn in school, especially for audit, it's exactly what you do at work. So like even doing my cases now, I'm doing a CPA audit role. So that's a designation that I'll be obtaining. When I write my cases, like my audit procedures, because that's what they ask you when you write your case, I think of, okay, what do I do at work? And I literally write word for word what I would do at work. That really helped me in my case writing a lot. It's nice. It's good. It's good on the job experience, right? I don't know. I hope I answered that correctly. Yes. I'm trying to convey what's in my head. But I just feel like what you learn in school is what you do at work, and vice versa. You're able to easily apply the two. Whereas from what I've heard and the friends I have who don't work at a firm, they don't have that same experience. So I think that's the major benefit of working at a firm as well.
Thank you for your answer, Kelly. It's perfectly fine. So as I said, I will keep reading some of the questions that have been asked with the participants. So can you apply for more than one term? Yes, you can. For example, if you have different availabilities to work, if you can work for summer 2021 and autumn 2021 also, you can apply for both of these periods. But usually what we do is that we accommodate you with what you want to do and when you want to start your internship. So we like the candidates to have a view of what they will be doing at schools for the next semester and when they are available to start the internship, and we really accommodate you in a sense that we make place for you for the way you want to lead your semesters. If you are available to work or not, we can change the course that we planned usually, because we want you to be able to come back. Another question is, when will the new interns start? So it depends when you apply. For example, as we said, if you apply for an internship during summer, you will usually start in May. If you apply for the autumn, you will usually start somewhere between September and October. It depends on the office you will be working at. Other thing is, when you start for your internship at winter, you usually start in January after the Christmas break that we take usually at the firm. You will be starting in somewhere early or mid-January, and these internships in winter usually last for about 4 months, depending on the assignments that you have. It can be a little bit more or a little bit less if you want. It can vary.
Also to add, it's also whatever team you get recruited in. If you do your summer internship, and you can discuss with your partner or your manager that you're being staffed with, like, look, like, this is my classes. I was thinking of being available this time. Would that work for you guys? Do you guys need someone? And you can even see what time period, because when you get recruited, usually you get recruited into a team. So you can even discuss the availabilities that your team has. Like, for instance, we have our intern, he did his second summer internship because he couldn't come back right away full time. And he's coming back again in November or October, something like that. And he's starting with us full time after that. So you can see, once you get recruited, what your team kind of needs and where you can come. If the sooner they need you and that works for you, then I think that it depends on each team by team basis as well.
Yes, exactly, Kalai. You're totally right about that fact. Also, another question that we are having is, so the earliest we can start would be January 2021. Yes, because we do the recruitment for really in advance, sometimes a year and a half in advance. We only have place starting January 2021, and not in all of the offices that we have. But if you apply for this position, we will make sure to contact you and to see what can be done and when could you start for a full-time or an intern position also. Another question is the winter internship full-time or part-time? All the internship that we offer are full-time. We usually don't offer part-time work because it's for you to understand and really to learn the tasks that you will be doing, and to well, process all the new things that you're working on. It's usually better if it's a full-time job. So you will be working full-time in your teams, and then often the people go back to school for like a semester or two, and then they come back for another internship. It can be in summer or winter, or depending on your program, the program that you're on. Maybe, Ariane, we can continue with the presentation, and we'll go back to questions a bit later.
Of course.
So what makes us stand out about our internship program? There are a few things that we want to tell you about, just for you to understand the experience that you will have as an intern and the culture that you will be working on at RCGT. First thing is that we called it the best of both worlds, because we offer you all the advantages of a big firm, but we have been able to keep the human side and the relation and the conviviality that comes with a small medium enterprise. Most of that is because of the way we work. So as we said, we work in teams. It really gives you the bond that you create with all of your colleagues that you work on assignment with. You're not paired with someone that you will only see 2 years later because you are in another team or something like that. You really get to see each other on a daily basis, and that's what we believe is important for our culture and the bond that you will be creating toward all the firm. Another point is the proximity to our clients. So early on your internship, you will be asked to go to clients. It can be face-to-face or virtually for this specific season. But otherwise, you will be in contact early on with our clients, and that will really help you to develop all the reflexes and way of work that will benefit you for all the rest of your career.
And for the professional development, I would say not only technical skills, but also we're going to teach you how to act with clients, how to do business developments, and pretty much soft skills that will serve you the rest of your career. The career progression, I think if you have ambition, I really think that RCGT is the firm for you. In my personal experience, I had a lot of opportunities since I'm here. And for the flexible work schedule and path, I just want to say that we have a lot of interns that are invest in school or in sports or anything, and we're very flexible. So we give you a computer when you arrive to work and for school, and you can work at any places with it. So it's pretty easy to make your schedule.
So thank you everyone for listening to our presentation. We'll be taking all of your questions. If you have some questions, it can be for Ariane and I, or it can also be for Kyla. Questions about the reality of an intern, about anything regarding the recruitment process also. I already see another question. Did RCGT cover some fees or any related expenses during CPA? We have some programs that allow you to get some form of expenses reimbursed by RCGT. We have different programs that can pay for a part. It can be a part of studies or different things in the process, and all the fees with the CPA order also. And another question is about the length of the interview for the interns and permanent employees. I think I already answered that, but if I didn't, I will repeat myself just to make sure that you that you have all the information. So for the intern position, we said it's about 20 to 45 minutes, depending on what's being said and how it goes. But for the permanent employees, it's really the same length if you will be working as a new intern or a new employee. For other positions at the firm, for example, a consultant in tax or something like that, and someone who really has previous experience on the work, you will be having a bit of a more long interviews, but that's a different process that you can ask us about also if you're interested in. To apply for the internship, you have the internet website with www.rcgt.com, English and careers. You will be finding the recruitment campus position, and you can apply for all of our internships. It can be, as we said, beginning January 2021 and up until January 2022. So you can really apply there. You can also contact us if you have other questions on this process. But you can also follow us on Facebook. We are posting a lot of information regarding all of the activities that are coming regarding how to apply and the internship position and everything. We have a couple of webinars going on, but also later in September, we will have a job fair also on virtual, and we will have a visit tour from the offices, different offices in Quebec. So you can sign up by going through Facebook and see what are the processes to sign up for these activities. Another question that we have is, what kind of benefits can we expect as interns? It usually depends on the position that you have. For example, it's different between summer interns that are really beginners with no experience and that are here with us for only 2 months, 2.5 months. And it is different for employees who, for example, comes back from the CFE and start working full-time and stay with us for the rest of their internship that they have to complete with the CPA order. So these benefits can vary. It also is a bit different from all the region that we have. For example, if you work in Montreal or if you work at Bas-Saint-Laurent, it's not exactly the same benefits that you will be having. Most of them are the same, but there are some particularities that can be discussed later on. So I wouldn't be able to describe every benefits that we have for every region that we have, because we will be taking more than the 12 minutes that we have left for the webinar. But if you have more specific questions about that topic, you can ask about it to Ariane or myself. Again, it could be through LinkedIn, it can be through the recruitment.campus RCGT.com, and this is the email that you can join us, Ariane and I, to answer all the questions that you have if you don't feel comfortable using a phone or LinkedIn also. For all the questions that we might not have answered already, just know that after the webinar is over, we will be answering all of those specifically to the person who asked them. We will be doing a follow-up to you. It could be on LinkedIn or email or phone. So you could just stay tuned for more of this information. And we will want to remind you that we will be sending to you also the recording of the presentation if you want to consult it later on the recruitment process, or if you want to forward it to one of your colleagues at school that might didn't get the chance to see it for themselves.
And if you guys have any questions regarding school or your path or anything like that, you can message me on LinkedIn. You'll find my name, Kayla Russo. It's the picture that the ladies included on the PowerPoint slide. So you can find me and ask me any question. I'll be more than happy to help and answer.
So again, if there is no more question asked right now, we will be actually ending the webinar. Thank you again for coming to see the presentation, for coming to meet us. And we are very pleased with all the questions that we had. They were really good questions. Thank you. Have a nice day, everyone, and don't hesitate to contact us, Kayla, Ariane, or I in the future if you have questions regarding anything on the recruitment process or the applications for intern positions.